Yeah, good evening, guys. Hello.
Yeah, very good evening, Srinath.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah,
Happy Teachers Day to all.
sorry.
Happy Teachers Day.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
happy Teachers Day,
yesterday.
Srinath.
Thank you. Okay. I think today we are going to start the new topic.
Properties.
Yeah. Properties. Yeah. Before starting on the properties, can anyone having idea about what are the properties and what is the need of defining the properties and everything? Let us take a simple for example, what is the need of properties defining the property? Let us say you have anyone heard about the word the template? General what mean template? No.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
what is a template? Basic meaning of template, forget about the technology. What is the template?
It is
Let
something which comes with auto blueprint. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a simple blueprint, right?
AutoCAD
Now
something.
you can see, now we can see I want to design one mobile application. So otherwise I want to give the some features of mobile. So for you can see I'm taking the mobile as a my superset. You can see for the mobile what are the properties generally available. What are the properties of mobile? When somebody ask the question, what are the properties of the mobile? Otherwise you want to buy a new mobile phone. So what are the things you always keep in looking into the mobile phone? For the mobile you want to buy a new mobile phone, so what are the things you need to consider? Yeah,
Camera,
RAM,
yeah, tell
inbuilt,
me what are those things, one by one. So first we
Processor,
configuration,
can see the RAM, what is the
RAM,
size of the RAM. The next one is,
processor,
oh, okay, that is we can call it as, okay, any other? Yeah, tell me.
if it is
Camera,
Android, camera.
yeah, then operating
sto-
system. The
Mhm.
next one
storage,
is the
storage,
storage. Next, what are the other thing, most important one?
screen.
Screen size. So now you can see, now you want to buy a mobile, these are we need to consider. Let us say this is your product, right? So for your example, you want to buy Android mobile. For the Android mobile also we have to check the RAM, processor, cam, operating system, so everything, right? That means you can take the superset of this mobile. You can see you are creating some template. What is the template? The template contains the what properties of mobile phone, right? You guys are understand what is the meaning of template? Template is nothing but they give these set of properties. So for example, you want to buy a new mobile phone, right? So in this example, for example, I am going for the Samsung. Okay, so I want to buy a Samsung. So for the Samsung, you can see I am going for the Samsung mobile. So Samsung mobile always have the some RAM, right? 8 GB of RAM. It is available now. You can see what is the processor. For example, this is a, I mean, what is the latest one? Snapdragon processor they are using. What is the next one? The camera, 64 megapixel of camera is there. Operating system is obviously Android operating system. And what is the other thing? Storage, it is comes with the 64 GB of storage, and the screen size it is coming with the 5.6 inches. Okay, now you can see this is the properties of your Samsung phone. Let us say for example you can go for the another one. So for example, I want to buy a mobile phone of another mobile. Let us say Apple this time. So I want to buy an Apple product. You can see for the Apple product, the Apple phone also first the same thing. There comes with the, what is the first thing? RAM. So this is coming with the 16 GB of RAM. Now you can see that what is the processor? A51 is my processor, and megapixel. What is the cam, right? Cam, it is always come with the 32 megapixel of cam. What other things? It is comes with the iOS, and what are the next thing? It is operating system is completed. It is internal storage, 64 GB of internal storage, and the screen size also coming with the 5.6 inches. Now you guys tell me what is this 5.6? What is this 5.6? What is that 5.6? Can anyone? So what is this 8 GB? This is your RAM, right? Now you can see here it is also RAM. So now you can closely observe what you are creating the blueprint. That blueprint contains different properties. For example, you are going for the Samsung. You can see the name of the properties not changes, right? This is the RAM. Let us say this is the second one. It is the processor. Here also we are giving the processor. I am returning first, then you can understand very easily what is the need of this one. It is the CAM. This property we can call it as a CAM. This one operating system. This is also a operating system. This is the storage, and this is the size. Now you can observe it. This one we can call it as a size. Okay, I can make it as easiest way. Now you can closely observe it. You want to buy the Samsung, but you can see for the Samsung phone also these property names are same, right? Property name is nothing but the RAM, processor, CAM, operating system, storage, same. If you go for the Apple phone, the property names are same: the RAM, processor, CAM, operating system, storage, and same. So what is the difference between this one and this one? Where it is giving the difference? Where it is giving the difference? Property names or property values? Where it is giving property names or property values?
Property values.
So that means we have, whenever we are designing any systems, we are going to create a blueprint. That blueprint contains the names of properties, not the values. These values are comes with the depending on what product you are using. You guys are understand now? So whenever we are creating any systems, we need to create a uniform architecture. You need to create some template, right? Template kind of thing. So the template always comes with the list of property names as well as property values. Whatever here you are seeing, these are
Property
values. These are
properties.
property name.
Name.
So for example, there is a new phone is coming, one Samsung, Apple, iPhone is there. There is no new phone is coming, that is the OnePlus one. So for the OnePlus one also, what are the common things? So again, property RAM. So 16 GB of RAM, and the processor, they are using the Snapdragon 851. Sometimes you can see the property names are common, but what is the change? Where it is comes change?
Values.
Where it is coming?
Values.
Values. That's the same thing. Same example. Let us visualize inside of mind. So inside of the real time also, we have the different environments are available. So you are designing your product, you are designing your entire system inside of your laptop, that we can call it as a dev environment. Once dev environment is completed, again you need to move your entire application into the Q environment. This we can call it as testing environment. So once testing environment is completed, again we can move to your application into the pre-prod application. The last one only we need to move to the product. Okay, so there are different levels of different levels are there to execute our application. But you every times depending on the application, we know we no need to go for the design center, and we are again no need to change any property names. So we need to create one uniform architecture. That uniform architecture contains only property names. For the values, depending on the environment, we need to pass the values. For example, if you are using the environment, we need to pass the dev environment values. For example, your application move to the QA environment. Which environment values I want to pass it? QA environment. The same thing. When we move to the pre-prod application, I want to pass the pre-prod values. So that means whenever we moved one application from one environment to another environment, we never touch again your product code. So we need to create the different property files to move the values according to that environment. Okay, so dev environment is there, testing environment is there, pre-prod is there, the last one final is the product. So for this one, we need to pass only values. So these values are automatically bind to
Particular environment.
properties. Okay, that's okay. Now here how we can creating the properties means in the Mule point of view in two there are two kind of styles are there to defining the properties. One is the Java programming style. The second one is the YAML programming style. Okay, so in the Java programming style, all your properties are saved with the name of
Dot properties.
dot properties. Now in the YAML programming style,
Dot YAML.
that's it. Okay, that's the first difference. So whenever we need to define any properties, there are two set of things are available. Either you can follow the Java programming style, otherwise you can follow for the YAML programming style. Whenever we want to follow the Java programming style, we need to create a file with the extension of
Dot properties.
dot property. For example, I want to create a property for the dev environment, then we can create the dev dot properties. Okay, for example, you want to create for the testing environment, then you can go for the QA dot
Properties.
properties. This is the way we can be able to create it. Okay, first I am creating one simple property file, then again we can come back and we can discuss how we are able to discuss it. Okay, for example, okay, once. So what is the source of your project? What is the source of your flow? Generally, we are using which component? Which listener?
HTTP listener.
So we are using the HTTP listener. So what are the settings for this HTTP listener? Can anyone tell me? What are the settings?
Host, port.
What is the first one? Host. The next one is
Port
port.
number.
Port
There
number.
is third one is there. What is this one? Base path, right? So what is the host value? Generally, we are giving local host.
Local
Otherwise,
host.
we are giving the all interfaces, right? This is the default settings. So we are not going to touch that one. That next one, port number. So generally, we are giving the 8081. The base path generally we are giving API/v1. So let us assume these are the settings for the my dev environment. Now I want to create a one property file for this dev environment, and I want to call these values from my property file. Now you can understand. Now I want to create one file. What is the extension we are going to create? Dev dot
Properties.
Properties.
So inside of this one, how many values I need to define it? So forget about this one. So this is the default one. I want to define two values. One is the port number. The second one is the
Base path.
base path, right? So these are the values for which one, which component? These are for the database, or these are for the file, or these are for the HTTP. These are for the which one?
HTTP listener.
Right now you can see inside of your dev.property file how we are going to write the content means first we need to define the namespace. What is the namespace is nothing but so these values are belongs to which connector. So for example, this is my HTTP listener. So I am giving like this one HTTP dot. What is your first value? Port. HTTP dot port equal to 8081. What is the next one? Base path. This is the base path for which one? Database or file or HTTP? This base path,
HTTP.
right? Again, the namespace HTTP dot
Base path.
base path equal to whatever the value is there, right? So this is the way we need to define the values inside of
Properties. Dev.properties.
dev.properties. Now you can
Properties.
understand, right? Now we are going to create this file. Let's see. We open this one. I am creating one simple project. So 1 second. Okay, what is the one? Properties example, right? Example underscore properties. Okay, I'm going to create it. First, as usually, we can start with the listener. It is HTTP listener. So we generally in the previous how we can simply click on place and automatically I click on OK. But here I don't want whatever you are seeing. This is the we can call it as a hard coded. Just remember, this is the hard coded. In the real time, we are not going to give the values like this one. We need to read data from the your property file only. So here the question is where we need to create that property file. So there is different things are available now. So here the inside of the project structure, inside of which folder I want to create my property file. Any idea?
Resources.
So
Resources.
just remember, by default, whatever the content you want to create it, obviously you go inside of SRC main/resources only. By default, your Mule application class path is set to these resources only. Okay, so just click on the first. We will explore this one. Is there anything is available? Nothing is available. So simply give the right click, then go to the new. Here you need to define a file, right? So you can see there is a file is available. You can see there is no extension is available. You can simply select that file. Just remember, so we need to create the dot property file, not a dot Java file. So you can simply select this file, and here we need to give the name dev dot properties. Okay, then click on OK. Okay, now we are enter into the dev dot properties. Here we need to define it. So how we can define it? First we can start with your namespace http dot, what is the one? Port, right? http dot port equal to, what is the port number you are going to give? 8081. What the second value? http dot
Base path.
Base path.
the base path. So generally here what is the base path you are going to give it?
Slash
/API
yes,
slash
V1.
v1, right? So this is the one we are defining, right? Now click on save. Now everything is good, right? So your application, inside of your application, you are creating the property file. Excellent. So but how the Mule can read the data inside of your property file? How the Mule understand whether I'm reading the data from this file only? How it is available? You are created the property file. Excellent, good. Then how you can inform to the Mule? So here Mule, please read the data properties from this dev.property file only. How we can inform that one? Guys understand? So first point is we need to create a dev properties. I am creating the property. The second thing is we need to inform to the Mule. So where is your property file is available? Okay. So inside of your flow, where we can see all your configuration settings.
Advanced.
There is where we can see all your configuration settings. Here see what is this one?
Global elements.
Global.
So you can simply click on global elements. This is the place where we can see all your configuration elements. You can see global configuration elements. So here first we need to create a property reference. So you can simply click on create. So here which one we need to define it? Properties, right? You can simply search for the properties. You can see. So there are, what is this one? Configuration. Just read out this one, configuration property. You can simply select on this, then click on OK. Now you can see it is asking you one file. So this file is always indicates the where your configurations are available. Where is my configurations are available? Dev.properties, right? So we need to select that file, otherwise you could buy directly give here. So if you want to select that from your project folder, simply click on these dot buttons. You can see dev.property. You can select it. Okay, so by default it is identifying your files inside of SRC main/resources only. So dev.properties I am defining, click on OK. Now got it? Now your Mule application is automatically read the data from your property file. So two steps are
Can you
completed,
show
right?
1 second?
Okay,
Can you
then
show
you
1
can
second?
1 second. I am deleting this one. So we need to creating the one. So here I want to configure the properties, right? So you can simply search for the properties. So there is a configuration properties is there. Simply select that one, click on OK. Now there is 3 dot buttons are there. Simply click on this one. So by default, it is identifying the all your path. You can see dev.property is available. So click on OK. That's it.
First, you
Click
have
on.
to make global elements, right? Prior to that.
Yeah.
Inside
So
global
first,
elements.
inside of the global elements only, we need to configure it.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is what the next thing you need to create the your HTTP listener, right?
Yeah.
Right. So which configuration we need to create? So HTTP configuration, either you click on plus here, otherwise from the global elements also we can able to create it. Go to global elements, click create. So which one here? HTTP listener config. Now you can see there is coming now.
Hmm.
So you can
Yes.
select this one, click on OK. Now you guys tell me. So here instead of 8081, what is our requirement? I want to call HTTP dot port number, right?
Yes.
Right, 1 second. So here you have to remember it. One thing, just read this one. So what is this one? So what is that word?
Placeholder.
HTTP.
So what is the meaning of the placeholder is your data is available inside of your property file. So we need to refer one particular thing from your property file. So how we are going to read the value from your property file means you can start with a dollar symbol in between open brace and closure brace. We need to define that property name here. So what is your first property? HTTP dot port. Then, so what is the meaning of this one means when we using this placeholder, what is the symbol of placeholder is? So it starts with a dollar and in between, this is the placeholder. So whenever you are referring anything inside of your placeholder, it is automatically read the data from your configuration file. Okay, you guys understand? For example, I am defining like this one, HTTP dot port. Then what is the meaning of this HTTP port? It is a word or it is a name or where we have to look at it. So there is a difference is there. So whenever we are putting this entire thing inside of your placeholder, then it is automatically looking the data. This data is looking inside of your configuration file only. So that is the point you have to remember. If you are if you have missed the placing this placeholder, it is automatically throwing unidentified value. Because why? Because so we need to pick this data from your configuration file only. How the mule identifies? So when we using this placeholder, then only it is automatically go to your configuration file. Inside of that one, it is going to read the data. Got it, guys?
Yes.
Now you guys tell me here, I don't want to use my 8081. So I want to read the data from my configuration file. How we can use this one? Where is you 1 second. So where is your property name? This is the one, right? HTTP dot port. So here we need to place the value there. Then tell me. The first time it seems to be a little bit crazy, don't worry. So you can remove this one. Here we need to use the placeholder. So inside of the placeholder, I want to use my key name HTTP dot port.
Port.
That's it, right? Now come here. So there is a base path is there. Here also we need to use first a placeholder. So then HTTP dot, what is the one? Base path.
Yes.
That's it. Click on OK. Okay. Now come here. Then, so I can give them my path is compulsory. The test I am giving, I am placing some logger. I'm giving some response also. How we can create a response? How we can create a response? By using the transformation only, just remember. So I'm giving some response in the JSON format. So I'm giving the message. What we can give? Properties. Properties. Example. 1 second, where it is gone. Okay. Something, is there any? Okay. Now we can save the program, try to run it. Everything is correct, it's deployed correctly, then it is pick the data from this file only. Let's check this one. Meanwhile, we can open this Postman. So here the indirect interview question is how we can eliminate the hard coded values means. So we can by writing the properties only. Meanwhile, we can see this property files also. What is the official documentation is there? 1 second. Properties and middle 4. Yeah. It's deployed, right? You can see now we can go to your Postman. What is API/v1 and what is this one? Test, right? Click on save. Now you can see it is automatically pick the data from my property file. Inside of the property file, what is the port number I am using? 8081. This is the base path, right? Now we are passing this one. That means it is executing correctly, means it is pick the values from that property file, right? For example, I am changing it. Now you can see, for example, let us say there is another environment is there. This time they are using 8082. You can see 8082 and base path is also changing to v2. Then I am saving the file. Just remember, whenever you do any modification inside of the property file, again you need to stop your application and you need to rerun it. Just remember this the one. Okay. Dev dot instead of dev dot inside of dev dot property, this time my port number is 8082 and the base path is /API/v2. Let's check it whether it is picking that port number or not. As of now, how many properties available? There is only one environment properties only. Now I'm
Yes.
hitting it. You can see. Is there any response is getting?
No.
Why it is not getting? Because my port number is changed. Then 8082 is my port number and my base path is also v2. Right? Click on send. Now it is getting data, right? So we are getting the 200 response, right? That means it is automatically pick the data from your
Properties file.
This file.
properties file. Now the same question. For example, now this is the data for the my what is the one? And this is for the my dev environment. For example, according to right, so there are different environments are there. Now I want to move from dev environment to the QA environment, right? Now we want to create one more configuration file for the QA environment. How we can create the new file? Tell me.
Resources.
Give the right click, then go to the new, then file. Then you can tell me. Yeah, you can give the QA dot properties or sometime st. They are giving some reference names. Ultimately, we need to create one property file. So I am giving the QA dot. Which extension I want to use? Properties.
Properties.
Just remember. So properties. So the first one, how we can create values inside of your property files? First, we need to what we can namespace, right? So HTTP. So the namespace is nothing but what properties we are defining. So these are the properties for the my HTTP listener. That's the only use. HTTP dot port. What is the port number?
80.
For example, I am giving the 9090 for testing, or 9091. Next one is HTTP dot.
Base
What's the
path.
next one? Base path. So for the base path, I always give the API/v1, otherwise up to you. Okay, I'm saving this program. Then second point is second step is completed. What are the third steps?
Go to global elements.
So why we need to go to the global elements?
To map.
So by default, your application is pointing to dev.property file, but this time your application is moved to the QA environment. So we need to read that properties from the my QA environment. So we need to pointing your entire mule application to your QA property file. Where it is, where we can do that one? Inside of what is this property name? Inside of configuration properties. Every time we no need to create, just remember guys. So just go to the edit. So by default it is previously it is pointing dev.property. This time it is pointing to I want to change, right? Now you can see now it is automatically pointing to the my QA property. So I am not touching any my HTTP listener config. Just remember, right? So again we no need to change my placeholder, you can see. So everything is, it is just like template, right?
Hmm.
I'm
But
not
name.
touching any configuration for my HTTP listener, even though I move to my QA environment, right? So this is the way we need to create a template kind of thing. So just remember. Now let's see whether it is picking the data from my QA property file or not. What is the value for this one? 9091. Let's check it.
API.
Let's write it. Oh, it's got failed. Okay. HTTP base path is not there. Oh, spelling mistake is there. Okay.
STPP.
Yeah. Again, we need to stop the project. Again, we need to run it. Whenever you are onboarding for any existing project, first we need to look into these properties only, because everything we are reading from this property file, so we need to understand it. All the settings, usernames, and everything, it is available inside of your properties only. Now it is deployed, then move to the Postman. Let's hit it. I'm getting any data? No, right?
No.
Because now my application is pointing to QA environment, my QA environment using 9091, and everything is same. It is using the V1, then click on send. Now it is getting data, right?
Yes.
So this is the way you can see, without touching any existing configuration settings, I can move the configuration properties from one environment to the another environment. But here you can see still there is a one problem is there. So every time I want to move to the one environment, another environment, how we are moving? Again, we can go to the configuration properties and I am changing it, right? So that means we are completely 100% we are done dynamically.
No. Still
No, right?
we have to manage.
Still, then how we can pass this name dynamically? That is my question. So that is comes with your runtime parameter. Just remember. So here by default, you can see whenever we need to pass some extra information while executing our program, we can pass your runtime parameters. Just remember, what is the word? Runtime. What is the word we are calling as a runtime
Environment.
parameters? In maybe you are already hear that word in some other programming languages, they are call it as a command line arguments, right? You guys are hear that word in Java point and otherwise. So the runtime parameter is nothing but the while we executing of the program, we need to pass some values, then we can use the runtime parameters to pass that value. Okay, so here how we can pass this runtime value, first we will see. So when we clicking on this application, we can see this, give the right click, there is one option is there. What is this one?
Run as.
Run as. What is the third option? You can see mule application, the configure mode, and last one is what is this one?
Run configuration.
Simply click on run configuration. Now your application is entered into the your configuration mode. Okay, so here you can able to see there is a mule debugging is there, arguments is there, JRE is there, environment is there, different things are there. So whenever what is your requirement, you need to pass the some runtime arguments, right? So which one I need to select? General, debug, or which one I need to select here? Arguments. So here I want to pass one runtime argument value. Let's see syntax. We can start with the -d. Okay. So what is the environment variable I am passing? I am just giving like this one, env equal to dev. So what is the meaning of this variable is nothing but you can see I am passing one variable with the name of, what is my variable name here?
env.
Env is my variable name. What is my variable value?
Dev.
Right now you can understand, for example, I want to move to the dev environment to QA environment, then I can give my env value as a
QA.
right. So this variable, what is the name of the variable? Env. This env contains my property file name. Got it?
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have
So
to mention
yeah,
complete name or just QAR
it's
dev?
up to you. So you can see this is the variable name, just remember. So this variable name you can give up to whatever the name you want. Generally, we are giving this some meaningful name now. So env indicates environment. Okay. Again, you can see this is also a property. Remember. Okay. So what is my property name? What is my property name?
ENV,
Env. What is my
environment,
property value?
QA,
Here, right? So whenever we talk about the properties, how we are going to access the properties?
Placeholder.
dollar,
Okay, this is the one, just remember. So whatever the variables here you are passing, these also we can call it as a properties. Whenever we want to use these properties, again we need to use
placeholder.
placeholder, right? Apply and close it. I'm not at executing any application, right? Close this one. So where we can define your properties? How we can, where we can inform to the mobile application, you have to read the data from dev.property or qa.properties. Where? Go to global elements. Which one? We need to modify it.
Configuration.
So you can simply select on this one. So here, instead of writing the QA, instead of writing the dev, this name should be also reading from the your runtime variable, right? So what is the variable name you are using at the runtime? So you can simply use the placeholder here. So what is the name you are giving her there? env. So for example, env is comes with the dev, then dev.property. env is comes with the qa.property. This is the way we can read the data from your runtime parameter, and we are mapping that variable automatically here. Got it, guys? The first time, this one was only tricky part, just remember. So here, every time we no need to open your Anypoint Studio and go to configuration. That is the not the proper way. So we can simply pass that environment variable as your runtime argument. That runtime argument value is placed here. Got it?
got it.
Okay. Let's say click on OK. Then save the program. So which mode we need to execute our program?
Run
Run as
Run as, then you can go to the configuration. So there are here arguments. It is pointing the QA environment. For example, I'm pointing to the dev environment. Apply and run it. Let's check it. For the dev environment, what are the properties? 8081 API/v1. Let's check it. Now this time, so I am not touching any in configuration inside of the configuration properties or HTTP listener. Everything is reading from my runtime parameter only, right? Okay, it's deployed. Then go to your Postman. Let's hit it. Why it is not coming? Because you are pointing to the dev environment. Inside of the dev environment 8081, it is your application. Now it getting right. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So for example, you want to move your entire application inside of your QA environment. Then how we can pass it? How we can pointing your entire application to QA environment?
Runtime.
Just tell me. Give the right click.
Run.
Run as configuration. Then go to arguments. So
QA.
here inside of env, you can simply give the QA. That's it. Apply and run it.
What is -d, sir?
Sorry,
Before env, what is -d?
I didn't get you guys. Before env,
Env variable name, no? So what is -d before env in here? What is -d?
-d indicates the flag variable here. I will show you. No, 1 second.
Okay.
It's a Java programming style. No? So -d indicates the flag variable of passing your argument. So there is one more thing is that I will show you 1 second. So you can see I'm hitting, it is not pointing, then it's 091. Now it is pointing. Okay. So what is the one, right? You can click on here, go to run as, run configuration. So argument is nothing but it is star minus D always indicates the argument. So for example, you want to pass multiple argument values. Here again, I can give the minus D and I'm giving the values like this one. This is the one way. And the port number, 1 second. First we are defining the here. Host and port number is 3306 and the user is the root. Password is the root. Sorry. And database, right? Instead of DBSID, what is the one? DB dot database. What is our database name? Employee. Okay, I'm saving it. Come here. Edit. I'm defining here. Host, port, username, and password is the password. And here, oh, why it is still pointing to this one? 1 second, guys. Quickly, I'm changing it. Yeah, tell me. DB dot host DB dot port and DB dot what is the one? User, right? And what is this one? DB dot PWD and the database DB dot what is the one? Database. Yeah. Click on test connection. Oh. Is the 1 second. Click on OK. Let's save the program. Maybe it is coming from the runtime parameter. No? 1 second. Employee is there. Can stop the program. It's a deployed. Go to here. You can get it. Now you can see it is getting the data. Maybe my Oracle server is down. That's why it's not getting. You can see it is the getting the data from that table. Now, so the thing is how we can map these properties means this is the namespace. So this is the way we can create the multiple properties just like this architecture. This is the one. So in the dev.properties. Okay. But here you can see what is the common thing. You can see every time we need to use the namespace again and again, right? http.port, http.basepath, db.host, db.port. Every time we need to use the namespace again and again, right? You guys understand? You can see. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
So what is the main difference between this property file and YAML is very simple. Now you can see I'm creating just 5 minutes. Let's introduction. I'm creating the one more file. This time I'm not using the dot properties. I am using the dev.yaml. Okay. So inside of the YAML, everything it is following the JSON structure. What is the JSON structure? Always it is following the key and value, right?
Yeah.
Now you can see. So I want to define the values for the HTTP. Then you can give the HTTP. Okay. You can simply give the colon. Then you can press enter. Okay. So what are the main drawback of the properties file? Every time we need to define your namespace again and again, http.port, http.host something. Here we no need to define that namespace again and again. Once you give the http.colon enter, then you can give one tab. This we can call it as indentation. So whatever the code you are written from this indentation, those are belongs to your HTTP. Okay. So for the HTTP, what is the settings? You need to give the port. So you can give the port number as a colon. Okay, so must remember this one thing, you need to give one space. Okay, after this one, all are in the string format only, we need to give it. So what is your port number? 8081 is your port number. The next one is, what is your next property for HTTP? That is your base
Base path.
path. Then you can again give the colon. What is the next thing? We need to give
Space.
one
Space.
space. Again, we need to give the values inside of string form only. Then API/v1.
Mm.
Okay. So these are the settings for your HTTP. For example, you want to give the values for the DB. So again, DB use your main namespace now. So again, you can go back. So this is the
Comma.
starting of the line. Then we can give the DB and you can give the colon. Then you can give the enter. The next what we do?
Space.
So we need to press one tab. Then so you need to define the values here, right? So what are the values there? I'm just copying this entire thing. Okay, I am placing. It's okay. I'm modifying it one by one instead of writing it. So I'm removing it. db.host. So instead of equal to which one we need to give it? Colon. After
Colon.
this one, we need to give the space and everything should be inside of double quotes only. Okay. The next one, tell me what the second thing is. Again, for there is no space. Okay.
Colon. Space. Double quote.
Select it and what is the one? 3032.
36.
3036 or 32?
36, I think.
36. The next one is we can remove this one. So we need to give the values like this one. What the next one is db.password. Again, we need to give the colon equal to and okay, the last one is okay. One second. Yeah. So now just save it. Now you can see this is your properties, just like Java programming style. This is your YAML. So which one is very simpler to understand it?
YAML.
YAML, right? So because this is simple structure, every time we no need to define the namespace and again, everything is in the form of JSON key and value pair, just it, right? Now the question is, we need to pointing this application, right? Previously it is pointing dev.properties. Now we want to move to the dev.yaml. So where we can do that one?
Global element
Yeah, tell me, global elements,
and configuration.
configuration property, click on edit. Next, you can see instead of properties, which programming style we need to using here?
YAML.
YAML. That's it. So anyway, dev and QA, it is coming from your runtime parameter. That's it, right? Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Again, I'm explaining these things in tomorrow also. Don't worry. I'm starting this topping project and run that. Let's see. Now my data is reading from my dev.yaml only. Okay, let's see. I'm stopping the project and I run it. Oh, it is failed. Let's see. Dev.yaml is not there. So where we are creating? Okay. Where we are creating this dev.yaml, you guys are observed it, right? It is not available inside of your
Resource.
resources. Then
So
we need to,
it's under target.
we can simply move this file to that location. 1 second, where is our right? Okay, place here. Let's see. Yeah, dev.yaml is there. Now we can stop the project and anyway we are stopping now. First check this one, whether it is pointing to this property file or not. I'm changing my port number and executing it. Environment dev. let's check it. If it is read the data from this property file, your port number is 8082. Let's see. Okay, it's a deploy. Go to your Postman, first hit it. So there is no endpoint is there. Then we can go 8082 and hit it. I think your port number is 3032. Let's see.
06.
3306 here. I think we are missing something. Okay, again we need to restart your application. Double 306, not 3036. Tomorrow also we spend the time on properties only. Okay, it's deployed, you can get it. Now you can see we are getting the data. 8082. 8082 means it is the getting the data from your
dev.yaml.
dev or YAML. So this is the way we are going to creating the properties, either Java programming style and otherwise in the YAML programming style. In the real time, 100% we are going to create a property file in the YAML programming style only. Okay, just remember, because it is very easy to identify the properties and everything. Got it, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, today's class, again, you need to practice at least 2 to 3 times. Then you are familiar with all these things, how we can pass the runtime variables and everything. Okay, just practice 2 to 3 times. Okay. So that's all
Okay.
for today, class. So that's all for today. You guys have any doubts? Then you can ask now. Yeah. Otherwise, we can stop the class here.